Everybody get your hands up. Everybody get your hands up. Everybody get your hands up. What? Everybody get your fucking hands up, hands up, hands up, hands up, hands up. Everybody get your hands up. Everybody get your hands up.
What is up, everybody? It is your boy Slump coming at y'all with another podcast from the quarantine zone. Uh, got a special guest in the building, though, man. I'm gonna go ahead and let him introduce himself. Yeah, special guest. Yeah. I got you. That is clutch. Since you have never been on the podcast, I wanted to throw a couple of questions your way. Uh, what is your favorite game of all time and favorite console? I think I already know the answer to the console one, but yeah, you go ahead and answer for the people. Hmm. There you go. Hmm. Yep.
Now, see, I actually, because Fallout 4 is one of my favorite games of all time. I mean, 3 is pretty cool. I tried playing New Vegas not too long ago,
Mhm.
and I mean, it's definitely a different Fallout. So I gotta ask, like, what feature or what component of that game did you like best?
I think what I liked about it best was the Wild West theme. And
Mm-hmm.
again, before that, my favorite game was that I had played like up until in recent times. At that point, was Red Dead Redemption, and maybe it was just me wanting more of that. I remember Red Dead Redemption when it came out, I couldn't get it right away, so I ended up picking up Gun. I don't know if
Mm.
you guys remember that. So
Ah,
Gun,
yeah, I played the
gun,
Yeah.
hell out of
yo,
Gun.
Yep.
yeah, so
I
man.
played the hell out of Gun.
playing Gun to get my Red Dead fix until I can get my hands on Red Dead Redemption. And then
Yeah.
I played through Red Dead Redemption. I was like, man, I was left wanting more. And I played Fallout 3
Mm-hmm.
and liked Fallout 3. And even in Fallout 3, I would do things like, my character would wear the duster and use Lincoln's Henry repeater. And I was trying to use like the Magnum and stuff like that. So I was trying to play like a Wild West type theme in Fallout 3. But when New Vegas, then yeah, like I think that was it. The music in New Vegas was fantastic.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Just
Yep.
like the 50s like country, like Western music,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
fantastic fit for the game. The DLC was on point for the most part. I liked all the DLCs that came out with it. And Yeah, I think that was what it was. I think it was the aesthetic of like the
Yeah.
Wild West setting. Because if it wasn't for that, I don't think I would have liked it as much, for sure.
Mm.
That being said,
All right.
you mentioned Fallout 4. Fallout 4 is fantastic, and people
Yes.
love to hate on that game. It was
They
crazy when
sure
they were
do, especially some people in this in this particular video here. But
yeah.
I'm not saying that I hate it. I didn't say I hate it. I just said
I ain't even say
Skyrim.
names.
I just said Skyrim. Bro, I know who you talking to. You talking about me?
Hold
I
on.
just think
This
Skyrim is
time my
better.
audio is low. Hold on, let me fix that. My fault.
Nah, I had it fixed. I had my stuff muted, so
I mean,
you should be good
It
now.
may
the
not
thing
Bro.
about it
come out
is,
through my mic. Let me check that real fast.
And
like,
I think
I mean,
You should be
like I
good
said,
now.
on
I had
the-
my computer muted, so
Yeah.
I think it's all better now, though.
okay.
what were you saying, Luke? My bad. I didn't mean to cut you off.
I just no, you good. It's just the goodness of that game
Oh,
to
okay,
me
got it.
is the fact that it is pretty complex. I mean, it's like 2 or 3 games in one. I don't know,
Are we
like
talking about
I mean
Fallout 4?
DLC. Yes.
we
Yes.
we somehow jumped
a great
into
game.
Fallout 4.
Even with the mods, it's even better. Like I don't know, it's a great game.
Yeah, like with the
Fallout
mod.
4, you're right. There are a lot of like major like complexities of that game. But the cool thing that I like about Fallout 4 is that they're optional. Like the settlement building, like you can play through that game without having build a settlement at all. Like you don't even have to touch it if you don't want to, and it doesn't take away from like the story of the game, which I thought was cool. And yeah, it's a bunch of stuff like that. Yeah, the mods are fantastic. I was
yeah.
surprised that they did that for the consoles because I play, I don't have a PC powerful in that world. This one actually I just bought probably is, but I'm not a PC gamer. I'm strictly consoles. So the fact that they did that on the Xbox One and let me do that, that was on point.
I mean,
I have to agree.
I feel you. Like Fallout 4 is like Fallout series is really good. Fallout 4 is really good. Me personally, I think it's just I like Skyrim. I like the whole medieval fantasy
And
thing.
it comes down to aesthetics at the end of the day.
Yes.
Yeah, Skyrim is that game is fantastic. I love Skyrim.
Yeah.
I bought Skyrim 4 times, I think.
Sheesh.
Yeah.
I think yeah.
Yeah, I bought it on the
Skyrim,
360.
I bought
it on
about
the
2 or 3
360
times.
first and sank in like 300 hours on it, and then it came out on the Xbox One remastered. I didn't have my PS4 yet, so I bought that.
Mm-hmm.
And then my girl was talking about it, and years later, I'm with my current girlfriend. We got our PlayStation 4s or whatever, and she was talking about wanting to play it, so I bought it for her. And then it came out on VR, and so I bought it for VR.
Oh,
so
man.
Skyrim VR is fantastic. If you haven't tried it, you got to try it.
I have
You know what? I want to try it, but I heard like since it's like really rough on I think it was like a report I seen, and it was saying like you're not walking, you have to teleport places because it's like really rough on the brain.
True. You can change that in most VR games, and this is a misconception about a lot of VR games. You point and click and it teleports you. Most games, Skyrim included, you can change that in the settings. So you can just walk like a normal game. You're rocking dual, what am I trying to say? The dual VR sticks, And like I said, on this one, you can just point it. As long as you're pointing the direction, hold down the button, and he just walks. It doesn't teleport, just regular walks.
Really?
You can straight back and forth. So yeah, and for me, that they do that because a lot of people get motion sick.
Yeah, because you're standing still.
Right.
You're standing still, but you're seeing yourself move.
Moving, yes, and that I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm blind in one eye, but it doesn't bother me at all. Like I can sit and play a VR game straight for like 4 hours straight, no problem. I actually did that once with the Rick and Morty game and played through it. I think I streamed that, but it took me like 3 hours, 3.5 hours, something like that. And yeah, I didn't get motion sick at all. But Skyrim on the VR.
I imagine that'd be pretty tough not to get motion sick on a Rick and Morty VR game. That might just be me. I just feel like the nature of the show would naturally, as soon as you try to immerse yourself in it, like in VR mode,
it's honestly pretty tame, and that one, most of it takes place in Rick's garage.
Okay.
And it's crazy because a lot of it is just you just doing a bunch of different tasks from it's a bunch of different like kind of puzzles,
Mm-hmm.
but it's somehow fun. Like they got that other game, Job Simulator. I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, I don't want to simulate a job after coming home from my job. That sounds stupid. But Job Simulator is fun for some reason. Like I don't know
Yeah.
what it is, but Rick and Morty and it plays like that.
Mm.
But yeah, so it's not too bad. Skyrim though, like I said, everything's there. All the DLC and all the all the DLCs are in it and all that
Mhm.
right off the bat.
Mhm.
I like playing it in VR because there are certain things you can do that you can't do in the base game. For instance, like combat, like it's just picking up your movements with the sword. So I can do things like block with my swords. If I'm dual wielding swords, I can block. Which in the game you couldn't block with
No, you
swords,
can't.
but I can block with swords in VR. I can thrust and stab enemies, just straight up stab them in the face in VR, and you can't really do that in the base game. So it's crazy. It gives you more freedom like that, and yeah.
Mm.
So, but yeah, Skyrim VR, fantastic. That and the Doom game, I think, are my two favorites. And speaking of Fallout 4 came out in VR on the Oculus, I think. And I was hoping, it's coming, and it never came for PS4 VR. So I was pretty pissed about that. But not gonna lie.
Okay.
All right, well, we just had somebody else enter the podcast. We may as well go ahead and let him introduce himself also.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh,
Uh-oh.
no sound.
About that.
All right,
All right, trying again.
there it goes. All
There
right.
you go.
Okay, I don't know what's up with my headset mic. It's not working. Yeah, I'm Crazy Eyes Killer, Eric Harris. I'm Christopher Harris's father, Slumpenstein.
Hey, nice to meet you.
And what is your favorite game and console of all time? We'll try to keep this one a little bit more brief than the.
Yeah. My favorite game is probably going to be Mass Effect 2.
Oh,
Oh.
Okay. Okay.
You know, I like all the Mass Effect games, but 2 is probably the best out of
definitely.
the games. So
Yeah.
I think everything came together good on that one. As far as a console, that's a tough one. Jeez, because I've played them all.
Yep.
Try to think which console has the most games that I've. It's kind of weird. I probably would have to say either the PS1, because I played a lot of RPGs on that,
Ooh.
hmm
and
That was an RPG machine. I think.
Yeah, it was.
yeah,
Man.
yeah,
PS1.
Yeah, not since the Super Nintendo.
right,
Man.
right,
RPGs represented like the PS1. Fantastic.
yeah. And honestly, right now, I'd throw the Switch in there just because I use that thing as a JRPG machine as well, so I get a lot of use out of that.
Hmm
Interesting. Very interesting.
Why is that?
I don't know. Mine is definitely hands down the 64.
Okay.
But
My man
that-
said hands down.
I mean,
yeah,
because
like,
because
I know
if,
how revolutionary it is, but hands
because
down.
if I think about it, if I think about my favorite games of all time, Ocarina of
Okay,
Time's
well.
up there, Super Mario 64 is up there. That's two games right there.
Right,
You
right,
know,
right.
So, and then I have a lot of memories of Super Nintendo games. So
Mm. Were you an early adopter of it? Did
yeah,
you get it, like,
I got everything pretty early because Dad got everything. So
Right.
so yeah, I mean, so I was been around video games my whole dang life. So yeah, I can remember early days of playing Kirby Adventure on the NES. So
Dang.
yeah,
Oh yeah.
but
Now
yeah,
that's
I remember
interesting
playing.
because- oh, go ahead.
Nah, I'll just go say I remember playing Pac-Man. I think that was the Super Nintendo, the Pac-Man Adventure.
Ah,
That was
I've never played one of those Pac-Man Adventure games.
Yeah.
it was
But I mean, they kind of
That one on the Super.
they still kind of make them, I guess, with the Pac-Man world.
Really?
They do. They
You
do.
know.
Yep.
I
Yeah,
thought,
they had a couple come out for the Wii U. I think they got ported over to the Switch, and
Mm.
yeah, and there was like 3 of them on the GameCube.
yeah,
Yeah, they're actually pretty good games. Austin, were you gonna say
yeah,
something?
that's what I heard.
No, I was just gonna say like I wish like Nintendo 64 was probably my favorite system. Um, but
It was
I
just
hated
like I
that.
have so many memories with like GoldenEye, Perfect Dark.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it's just Smash Bros.
Perfect Dark
Yeah.
was so underrated on the N64.
Very.
Man,
Yeah, it
I
was.
love Perfect Dark.
Yeah, that
But you
was-
know, I'm gonna have to say
One of my
like,
particular favorites was Jet Force Gemini.
man,
oh
that's
man,
yeah,
That was
That game was
definitely one-
different.
Probably.
that was
Yeah, it
different.
yeah.
Yeah, that was definitely a sleeper.
Yeah, Rare
that was one of
Rare
my
has some
favorites.
classics.
Oh yeah,
Oh, man.
yeah, man. The N64 that was rare at the top of their game, man.
Uh-huh.
Like,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
it's a shame.
Shoot, I'm hoping that they would drop it. You know, like a replay of it on Xbox, but I
Talking
don't
about
know,
Rare
maybe I'm
Replay,
just-
bro.
Yeah, they
Well, I
got
mean, like,
that's the thing.
so you tell me Jet Force Gemini's on there?
Yeah, Jeff
Yeah,
was showing us
man.
Rare Replay. That's where I played it. I didn't play it originally.
Come
the
on,
N64.
man. How don't you know about
Oh,
Rare
what?
Replay?
Hold on, let me.
I know about Rare Replay, but I didn't know Jet Force Gemini. All
Right,
I'm about to download that
every
one
rare
tonight.
and like every rare game is on there, bro.
Dude.
Yeah, pretty much every rare game is in.
Except for like
Wow.
16-bit stuff. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, that Jet Force Gemini, man. I used to put in some crazy hours on that.
yeah.
That was my joint.
I remember that because it had co-op campaign and
Mhm.
everything.
Yep.
Yeah,
And my dog Lupus.
yeah. They even had like a death match too, like a
I think so,
multiplayer death
yep.
match. Yeah,
Like multiplayer.
yep.
Man. What's your favorite console, Austin?
It's between the Super Nintendo and Nintendo 64, and the only reason why I
Right.
say Super Nintendo because Super Nintendo was like actually my first console that I ever got.
See,
Right on.
Super
Right on.
Nintendo's right up
So-
there too, man. Because you got Donkey Kong, you got Super Metroid.
Yeah, like there's like my cousin, he had he was getting ready to switch over to Sega, and he was getting rid of his Super Nintendo, and my dad ended up buying it from him, and yeah, I was just like he had a big old thing of game, like a big old like tray of games or whatnot, like Mario.
Yep.
It's just a lot of games. What was that the basketball game? It escapes me every
What,
time.
NBA Jam?
Yeah, NBA Jam.
Mhm.
Slam
Uh,
Dunk.
Yeah, it was just a ton of games in there, and I
Yeah.
would go through and play those. But between that and the Nintendo 64, like I'm gonna have to say those two right there are probably my favorite. But if I was gonna say like my all-time favorite, probably the Super Nintendo, just because of my first system.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
I still think in a lot of ways that the SNES that's still Nintendo's best system in my opinion. I
Mhm.
think like in a lot of ways. Like I think, and it was interesting. I think I talked about this on my channel a little bit. Just the dynamic in like the difference in strategies between Nintendo and Sega at the time, where it seemed like Sega was really trying to push its arcade pedigree, and
Yeah.
they're really trying to push like we got the best ports of your favorite arcade games.
Mhm.
And I think Nintendo instead was trying to change more of what games could be. Excuse me, and I think you saw more complex games on the Super Nintendo. Which is why you had so many RPGs, I think, come out. And the things like Donkey Kong Country that came out in what '96, and it was crazy
Mhm.
because at the time Sega was they had brought out the Sega CD and they were trying to push the 32X.
Yeah, all those
And then
peripherals.
that didn't work, and so they were working on the Saturn when Donkey Kong Country came out, and the graphics on that from a 16-bit system, like at the time, I remember that when that came out, I was like, wow, that's a 3D game like that. I mean, that game was better than anything I had seen, like the Jaguar or the 3DO or anything like that, and they were just innovating and like
Yeah.
really pushing what the console can do instead of like really going off like the gimmick route, which I feel like Sega was trying to do at the time. So
I remember having well, I didn't have the Sega CD machine, but I remember playing I think it was Sonic Racing on the PC.
Yeah.
And remember what those graphics looked like as compared to some of the previous Sonic games I played before. I was like, wow, this is definitely different.
right,
Yeah.
It's different, different movements and things like that. So, when it came to the new gen at that time or the next gen Sonic games like Sonic Adventure and everything, you kind of more. At least I was more comfortable with it, but it like you said, it's definitely different seeing one from another.
Yeah, yeah. Sonic Adventure was amazing. I loved playing that game. Even two, with all
Yeah,
the skating and stuff and
Oh,
Shadow.
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
Shadow was the best part to me.
So does
yeah.
like so
And the
does like anybody
worst part was finding them damn emeralds with Knuckles.
Yeah, definitely,
Yeah.
definitely.
My bad. I didn't mean
does
to cut
any
you off.
no, you good. I'm just asking, does anybody like on like a Saturday, like does anybody like wake up, almost like a kid, almost like go downstairs, get some, get some cereal or something, and go up and
Hey,
play like old NSC games. I know I
I
do.
mean,
I miss that.
Man.
Like I hate
there are
like
times where I do kind of like miss that, like waking up, you know what I mean, and then
yeah.
hopping right on the Super Smash Brothers or something like that.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like that used to be like a Saturday routine.
Like I
yeah.
So
remember, like before school and whatnot. Like that was like something I loved doing, just waking up early.
yeah,
Yeah, before
Get,
school
get,
for me was I would wake up, watch Monster Rancher, then I watch Pokemon, and what else came out? It was Monster Rancher, Pokemon, and no, Sailor Moon, then Monster Rancher, and then Pokemon,
hmm
and then it was time to
Wow.
go to
hey,
school
Sailor Moon was
because I had to wake
that
up
was
like at 6 to watch all them. It was like an hour and a
hmm
half of anime before the bus came
Nice.
every single morning.
Yep.
But with that, I'm gonna go ahead and get into the first topic. As it being, the week of May the 4th, I just want to talk about maybe you could pick either one or you can do both. What your favorite Star Wars game and movie is? I'll go ahead and start. My favorite Star Wars game is probably. I mean, I don't want to pick, the newest Star Wars game, but Jedi Fallen Order, man, I gotta go with it.
Mm.
And if I had to pick a number two, for me, it'd probably be. Uh, See, I didn't play KOTORs or nothing like that when they came out.
Wow.
that is wow. You
That still
haven't
blows
played
my
it?
mind, and you still haven't played it. That blows my
Right.
mind.
I tried playing it, bro. It's too late. It's too late. I think I
What do you
can't
mean?
do
No,
it
it's
now.
not.
Have you
It's
played
never
Mass
too
Effect
late.
1?
You play Mass Effect. You like for real?
I can't play Mass Effect 1 no
3?
more. I
You
can't.
can't play.
Nah.
Hey, one was
wow.
pretty rough. I ain't gonna lie.
But unpopular.
But KOTOR is like Mass Effect without the Mako.
Right. Definitely.
Yeah.
Truly.
And I think that the gameplay and the story, the graphics don't bother me that much. I still think they look really good for an Xbox game.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it looks good.
KOTOR
Um,
still holds up for sure.
Yeah. And then I'd say my runner-up is probably Masters of Terrace. No, I'm just playing. It's probably
Whoa.
now my runner-up is unpopular opinion the Pod Racer.
Okay. Which one?
Episode 1.
Yeah, on
Episode 1 Racer.
yeah on 64.
Oh, yeah.
that
I will
is
be buying that when it comes out too on the Switch.
That was
Yeah.
the best thing about the
Yeah.
prequel trilogy was that game.
Was the Pod Racer game?
Yeah.
I might have to agree.
And then my
I
favorite
done put in some hours on that mug too.
yeah, that game was I love that game when I was a kid. And then my favorite movie is probably it's probably Empire Strikes Back.
Mm.
Force Awakens is up there. I like that a lot. Rogue
Yeah.
One. So yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll follow up with that. I want to say, favorite Star Wars game of all time would definitely have to be the first KOTOR. Second one is pretty good too, but the first one was just a totally different. For me, that was a totally different introduction to gaming that I had ever like truly witnessed
Absolutely.
before.
Okay,
So
I could get with that.
Yeah.
I could get with that.
yeah, so KOTOR is probably my first. Dang man, my second right now. Before I would say it would be the original Battlefront 2,
Okay.
But playing the new one now on the Xbox One, I would say is between that and Fallen Order. Fallen Order was really good. There's a lot of Star Wars games
You
out there that
put
I like. I
Battlefront
even like
2 on Xbox One over Fallen Order?
The replay value. How many hours? Again, how many hours I put into that original Battlefront 2? Like, I know, like Sundays. I'll come home from church. We had church all day long. In my church, we go in at 9. You don't get on till like 2:30, 3 o'clock. At 3:15, that Battlefront 2 would be on, and I'm playing that until about 9 p.m. So, like, I don't know. I would have to say that's the one. As far as favorite movies, though,
This is always a hot take. This is always a hot take for you, man.
Empire Strikes Back has historically been like my favorite. Going back and rewatching, it would have to be one of my historical runner-ups, which is either Revenge of the Sith or Return of the Jedi. Just whichever one closed out the trilogy.
Return of the Jedi. That always boggles my mind. Revenge of the Sith. Okay, actually that one's really good.
Revenge of the Sith had the best lightsaber battles by far.
It did.
Return of the Jedi had the best lightsaber duel, in my opinion, that actually meant something. Like, to me, the original trilogy, those fights, like, they meant something. They were emotional. Like, you could tell that was a straight up fight between father and son and whoever else. But with the new ones, it was like, you trying to see some more flashy stuff, some moving, like it's post Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. So you're trying to see something spectacular that you never seen before. So
yeah,
I don't know. That's why Return of the Jedi to me, because that final duel between Luke and Vader, that's like,
but
to this
see,
day,
that's
it
only
puts me in my
a
seat.
part of the movie, though. You can't ignore the rest of the movie. Like, the rest of the movie still happen.
Okay, so you got the beginning scene in Jabba's den. Like, come on, that part is tight. Han Solo wakes back up.
Hey, especially when Luke, walks up to the door and landed in black robes. I mean, that was dope. Like, that was dope to me. Like,
Like, I don't know. Like, to me, that's I don't know. Return of the Jedi was just like, it was really cool. It was a real culmination of the real trilogy to me. So that's my picks.
Okay.
All right. Well, I guess I'll jump in then. I'm gonna have to go old school on you guys with the game, just because of what it meant to me when I was younger, and that's going to be the Star Wars original arcade game.
I knew you would say. I'm surprised you don't have that arcade one up.
Yeah.
Because I played that in the arcade, and my boys and I, we would just, every weekend, we would head out, we go to the arcade, and I'd pump, I don't know how much money into the large cockpit cabinet of that game, and just play the hell out of that. And I mean, that was, and it was crazy because, back then that was, the visuals are real simple on the game, but it's impressive with the speed, and then the audio and the whole thing just brought it all together.
Yep.
So, especially back then with as much dialogue as there was in the soundtrack of that game, that was unheard of.
Mm-hmm. I'm actually, my bad. I don't mean to cut you off, but that's actually a really good pick right there. I forgot all about that game.
Oh yeah. That was so much fun.
That had to have been crazy playing that for the first time, and then
man,
compared to other games of the day. Like, when did that come out? Like 84 or something like that?
It was like 80. I want to say 83.
83. Okay, yeah, and so. Yeah, compared to the other games that were out, and being able to sit in the cockpit, because I've seen the clothes. It was like you see the racing games now where you sit inside, and man, just the immersion factor had to have been crazy.
Right, exactly. Man, and as far as the movie goes, I'm going to have to go with Empire Strikes Back for that, because that was that was really solid. I've got a few others that I like, but that one stands above them all.
Awesome. Empire Strikes Back just got that timeless I don't know. It's just you can put it on at any time. It's a timeless classic. I don't
For
know.
sure, for sure.
That and they kept the silliness quotient down in that movie.
Yeah, yeah. It was definitely a little bit more serious. You're right. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's probably the most serious one, to be honest with you, other than maybe Revenge of the Sith. I feel like Revenge of the Sith was pretty morbid though, but I mean,
I mean, that's. I mean, that was the fall. I mean, it was the fall. It was the fall of Anakin. You know,
true.
the
Mhm.
fall
Not
of
just that,
Anakin, and
and the
fall of
Republic.
the Republic, the fall of the Jedi. You know, so it was serious. You know, like this was what was going on. You know,
Yeah.
um, if nobody else wants it, I have to say my favorite game is probably KOTOR 2.
Mm.
Um, KOTOR 1 was cool. Like KOTOR 1 was really good. I like KOTOR 1, but KOTOR 2 was actually more. You made the decisions that you made really had a lasting effect. Also, there was more. It kind of got more in depth with the storyline about Revan, because Revan was actually my favorite character. It's still my favorite Star Wars character. Um,
I was go ahead. I was hoping they would go away from Revan in the second one, to be
I
honest with
mean,
you.
but I mean, like I hear you.
I
but
was
then,
that like out of all plots, like that to me was probably the most disappointing one.
what
Mm.
That you was pretty that you was like still Revan for the most part. Like
I mean, but no, you weren't Revan though. You was like one. Like, are you saying like you had some type of connection towards
oh yeah,
Revan,
well
or
that yeah, like I don't know.
I
Like the
mean,
fact that he
you
was
were just
still
you were
I
a
don't know.
general. You were a general. You were one of Revan's
Yeah.
generals,
Yeah.
and like, yeah, you were one of Revan's generals, and yeah, and then you had one of Revan's teachers, who ended up being Darth Betrayer, or the Darth.
Darkreya.
Yeah,
Let's,
it, Darth. No,
let's keep the
no, her
spoilers to
name
a
is.
minimum. You know.
Bro, that game's been out for how long?
Let's keep the spoilers to a
nobody-
minimum, man. You
It's
know,
been about
Jeez.
16,
you never know.
17
You
years.
never know, man.
Bro, you're not gonna play that, bro.
Well, I'm not, but somebody else might. I don't know.
Okay. Anyway, yeah. But yeah. I thought that game is my favorite. The movie. I'm gonna have to say Revenge of the Sith. Like that. Yeah. I like Darth Vader. Always wanted to know the story of why he fell, or what happened and what transpired, or like what came along with him falling. And him falling was basically the Republic falling, the Jedi falling,
Yeah.
and yeah,
I mean, and see, in like that, yeah, like I mean, when you put it that way, like it does kind of, put it all in perspective as
yeah,
far as that goes. Like, cause I do agree with you. Like, I remember the first time, me and my pop sat down and watched like the original Star Wars. Like, I remember that being like one of the most like intriguing things is when Obi-Wan is talking about, Anakin and what
yeah,
happened and like,
yeah. Like what he was
yeah,
supposed, like what everybody thought Anakin was supposed to do, he didn't
right,
do it. But
yeah,
in kind of reality, he kind of did do what the prophecy wanted. Like he brought balance between the force.
yeah,
So I mean, the Jedi didn't see it that way, but
hmm
yeah, like but behind Revan, Darth Vader is my favorite character. Anakin and Darth Vader are my favorite.
hmm I'd have to go Malik probably.
Malik,
That's a great question. What's your favorite Jedi and Sith?
Oh, that's a good one.
who?
That's a good one.
Yeah, who's your favorite Jedi and who's your favorite Sith?
Oh, who's my
Mm.
favorite?
My favorite Sith is definitely probably Darth Malik. I mean, Vader is up there because he's legendary, but I don't know. It's something about Malik that
Yeah,
was like
but if it
KOTOR is just I don't know.
yeah,
He's
if
cold.
it wasn't Darth Vader, so okay, so you said Darth Malik.
Yeah,
I think Darth Malik, he to me, he's too much of a. I don't know. He kind of did it. He the way he came into power, he kind of did it in a cowardly way.
you think so?
Yeah, I think he did it in a cowardly way because
It's the
everybody
way
else.
of the Sith, though.
I mean, no, I feel you, but everybody else kind of did it in like either like they did it in battle or.
Well,
Also, when Anakin did it, he double team Mace Windu
Right.
and betrayed him.
Now, I will
What do you
say
mean?
also-
Cowardly.
No. I'm talking about when the apprentice takes the role.
It's
Okay.
true. Like you have to either like beat them in combat or you have to outsmart your master.
Yeah, you have to outsmart. And yeah, he did outsmart. He did outsmart Revan. You know, I just thought it was a little bit more cowardly, but that's to each their own.
Mm,
Well, Sidious, he killed his master in his sleep. So.
man,
Oh yeah.
it don't get much more cowardly than that.
Right.
Yeah, he let him get drunk and waited for him to pass out. And then he killed him with lightning while he was asleep. Like that's pretty fucked up.
Damn.
I would probably have to say
That's
my
pretty
favorite,
fucked up.
like if it wasn't Darth Revan or Darth Vader, probably Darth Nihilus.
Oh, okay.
Like
Okay.
even though he was quiet and really like he was just a hole in the force basically, and he just
Yeah.
he had this incredible hunger that just that couldn't be sated, and he just zapped the life
Hold
out of
up.
everything.
I got you. Let me rein it back in a little bit because we're going on a tangent. We're about 45 minutes in. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and let Lightsaber Samurai go ahead and answer the original question.
Okay, yeah, let me run through them. I'll run through them real quick. So first, video games, 2 of them. First one is Star Wars Jedi Knight Jedi Academy.
Yes.
I enjoyed that game because to this day, and I like Fallen Order, but that game I feel like still got Jedi combat, like lightsaber combat down the best
Yes.
in any game. Which is
Absolutely.
crazy. And so that for sure. Close runner up is Republic Commando.
Ooh.
Fantastic first person shooter, based first person shooter. Why it didn't get a sequel or remaster, I have no clue, but we need that.
That was like the Ghost Recon version of Star Wars.
Yeah,
Yes, it was. Yes, it was.
It was cold.
Yeah.
It was
That
cold.
On
yeah, I have a
point.
PC copy of that.
Yeah.
Impromptu, just really quick. I wanted to. Y'all were talking about cool scenes in movies, and I wanted to know just real quick, what was your favorite Star Wars scene out of all 9? Well, actually, I won't even say all 9, all 11 if you count Han and and Rogue One.
Yeah.
What was your favorite scene? And my favorite scene, easily,
Hey man,
it has
Please
to come.
don't say the same one.
It has to
Right.
come at the end of Rogue One.
Oh,
I
okay,
knew
never
it.
mind.
I knew it.
Has
You
to.
know?
Has to come at the end of Rogue One when Darth Vader shows up.
Hey, Darth Vader came in there not playing whatsoever.
Man.
But see, here's the thing though. Here's the thing. As cold as that was, I don't know. It would have to be a tie from when Kylo Ren first drops in on Force Awakens and Poe shoots him with the blaster and he
Okay.
stops,
Oh, and he stops
the
it.
laser bolt in midair.
Okay. Yeah.
That's by far, to me, I was like, oh, okay, he's serious. He's serious. He know what he's doing.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, I just love that Vader scene because that was the first time the movies really did him justice.
Yeah, it just showed his just
Yeah.
relentless.
Combat.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Man,
Yep.
I'm trying,
Yeah, I
I'm trying
agree.
to think of a scene.
He's arguably younger though. You know what I mean? So maybe that also has something to do with it. Because I mean, when you're looking at it in like the original trilogy, sure, like Empire Strikes Back. I mean, what's he doing? He's just like walking him down,
yeah.
like chasing Luke Skywalker for the most part. So, I mean, but that's still that fight is
And it's still dope. Yeah, the fights from before are still dope. Like especially the fight on Bespin, and the way he played with Luke reminds me of how Dooku played with him. And
with Anakin.
Oh, man.
Ooh.
I really enjoyed the parallel with that. I mean,
Ooh.
Makashi style like Dooku, where he's doing the parries with one hand and doing all that stuff. Like, yeah, and he ended up
absolutely chopping his hand off. So in a way, he nicer. So in a way, he nicer than Dooku.
Yeah.
Dooku chopped off a whole limb. He said, "Forget that."
Yeah. So.
Bruh, like it's not.
I never thought about that. Damn, that's crazy.
It's not my favorite scene, but like I just knew it was close curtains with Qui-Gon and Darth Maul when he hit him with that. When he hit him with that.
Fight was crazy.
Yeah, he hit him with that. What was it? He hit him in the face, and then lifted his hand. And then
Yeah,
lifted his
yeah.
hand. Yeah, I was like, oh no.
Up,
I
bam,
was like, oh.
and then
Yeah.
Obi-Wan came at him so hard after that. Yeah, I was hyped the first time
Yeah.
I seen that. Because as
Yeah.
cool as the battles were in the prequel trilogy, this was in the original trilogy. This was the first time we, saw them really go at it.
Go
because
at it.
was in an
Mhm.
era where everybody were, trained, expert in lightsaber combat. Where, as in the original trilogy, Luke was just kind of learning,
Right.
and so
But
to see the skills, like,
George, I remember watching, I forget what it was, but I was watching some special feature. And I remember George Lucas actually explaining, he was like, originally, the lightsaber duels were intended to be like the original Vader versus Obi-Wan or Ben Kenobi fight, where like the lightsabers are supposed to be more heavy. So it's more like they're swinging, two-handed swords, as opposed to what now is like, they dual wielding, flipping them around, doing everything that they can now. So
right.
I feel like now that, or at the time for the prequel, some 20 some odd years later, they had a better idea of what they wanted to do as far as lightsaber combat went. Now I actually kind of appreciated that.
Absolutely. Yeah, that was a good documentary. Empire of Dreams is what it's called.
Yeah, yeah.
Documentary.
Mm-hmm.
Man, that's okay. So we're gonna I wasn't expecting you to come with the name of the documentary like that. We're gonna okay, so we're gonna kind of shift away from Star Wars here for a moment.
All right.
So how many of you guys are fans of Lord of the Rings in any way, shape, or form?
I can get in on that.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Definitely.
All right. Have you guys seen the screenshots that they put out of the new Gollum game?
Yeah, I seen
I have
that.
it.
Oh.
All right. Let me see if I'm gonna pull those up real quick.
Not impressed.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
I seen the Gollum. I was just like,
Let me
what
see
else?
if I can. I should be.
So
able to
wait,
share it.
so if I get this straight, so the Gollum game, you're playing as Gollum?
Yeah, like
Yes.
that doesn't sound.
Oh,
Okay. It should be up there now. Don't know if y'all can see it or not.
Yeah.
So it's three different screenshots. That one is the first one, and then that one is the second, which looks a little bit more cool, I guess.
Yeah.
And then
That was like Isengard.
I
that's the
think that
third.
might be because you remember he got captured.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
No, Skip
Um,
captured. I thought he just went up there.
Like it was something. I think it was something like he went up there. He went up there and ended up getting caught and he got tortured. If I remember right, I could be wrong.
Mhm.
Wow.
So-
I thought they were making an MMO.
Now, what you have to remember about those screenshots, and the reason that I said I'm not impressed, is those are supposed to be next gen screenshots.
Yeah.
Those are supposed to be from the Series X
Series X?
and the PS5.
Yeah.
That's why I'm like, yeah, that's not the first thing they should have showed.
I just don't understand what the game is gonna be. Like,
That's what I'm saying. Like,
what type of
It
game?
looks like it's gonna be like
that doesn't sound
shoot.
good to me.
Like stealth or
It's-
something, or like,
Yeah.
It would have to be.
That's
'Cause,
what it
I
looks
mean,
like.
Yeah, because what was Gollum wasn't a fighter.
He wasn't a fighter.
Yeah, he wasn't a fighter. I mean, he did.
No.
I mean, he did. He
He knew how to
swole
get
on-
places.
Yeah, he got swole on Sam.
and it's just like, why
Because he thought Sam was weak, so he's like,
Yeah.
I can
Yeah.
jump him.
Mhm.
Yeah.
and why Gollum
Yeah.
is a cool character. I just don't, to make a whole
Right.
game about him. It just
Yeah,
seems a
that doesn't
little
sound
weird. Like,
Yeah.
to pick a game about Gollum. I don't know. And they've been making it for so long, so they're obviously putting a lot of resources into it because they've been talking
Right.
about this game for years.
This is the first I ever heard of it. It's probably because I just
Same.
didn't. I thought they were going to. I thought they were, and this is probably the game. I thought they were making a MMO.
I think they are doing something like that.
Because I remember there was a Lord of the Rings MMO. I played it for a little bit.
Yeah,
Mhm.
But yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
I mean, it seems like it should be fairly easy to make a Lord of the Rings MMO game. I mean, it'd be kind of like any other MMO, just with Lord of the Rings classes or items
Yeah.
and places.
Yeah, I mean, all the world building is there. Like,
Yeah,
yeah, they can,
there's plenty of locations.
yeah.
So, but yeah, I just thought that was interesting, and I wanted to see who was interested in that game, or
I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Cause I don't know. I don't know if I could play a game crawling around as Gollum the entire
Right,
time.
yeah, that
It's-
doesn't sound
Yeah.
fun to me. So I
It
don't-
does. It doesn't hold any
I have
interest
to
to
wait
me.
for that to come out and see what people say.
yeah.
yeah.
I'm just interested to see what the gameplay mechanics are and what the loop
Right.
is like.
It seems like it would be. I don't know if you guys ever played. It was on the Xbox One. I think as a free downloadable game, but it's like you play as a goblin named Styx. You guys, anybody know what I'm talking about?
I don't think so.
I feel like
Yeah.
I've seen the game, but I
Yeah,
I don't know like much about it.
It's basically like Thief. It's basically like the Thief games. It plays a lot like
Okay.
that.
Okay.
So you're like a little goblin, and like you steal gold and stuff, and you can do like stealth kills and stuff. But it seemed like it might be something like that, but I don't know.
Okay. All right. Well, I guess that's a dud. So, the next big thing that was in the news this past week and towards the end of last week was Assassin's Creed and them revealing, what type of game it's going to be, time period, and it being, Vikings or whatever.
I had a feeling that was coming up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's been rumored for quite a while, but
Yeah.
they just never confirmed it. So Assassin's Creed Valhalla. So have you guys seen the cinematic trailer that they put out?
It's actually dope.
Not yet.
Oh yeah.
It's dope.
Yeah. See, I think I might be in the minority. I feel like after Assassin's Creed Origins, they should have rebranded it and made it a spinoff because it's not Assassin's Creed anymore. In the old Assassin's Creed games, you're an assassin. You're
Actually slooped it around.
Yeah, you're actually climbing stuff and assassinating. It feel like an Odyssey. You're just walking around. It's just like you're playing
Origins too.
You get kind of Origins, but even with Origins,
Like you're
it's
playing
still,
Shadow of Mordor.
yeah,
Yeah.
just like a beat 'em up game or something. But yeah, I just feel like these newer Assassin's Creed games should be rebranded as something else because it just doesn't hold the same. Flavor as the original ones.
Yeah, it's almost no longer assassinations no more.
Yeah,
No.
you're just
and that was-
beating the hell out of
Not
people.
not
now.
like
Yeah,
not like
and that-
not like the covert assassinations.
Yeah.
That's the
Yeah.
difference.
Yeah, you're just walking around beating the hell out of people.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah. And I mean, like the game, like seeing it looks cool. And it's almost like they're going. I mean, and they're going. Different time periods with warriors. Now it's Vikings. I
And
like history and I like Vikings. So.
Yeah, and it just seems a little cheesy. When I was watching the trailer, and just out of nowhere, the Viking has a hidden blade. It's like, okay.
Hey, I like that.
It just seemed a little out of place. I don't know.
Why so?
I don't know.
Because Viking.
Because it's a Viking.
It's a
Not-
Viking
because-
swinging a big ass axe, and then out of nowhere he pulls out this little hidden blade. Teek.
Hey man, there might be Vikings that
Yeah,
might
you
want
know,
the subtle.
think of Vikings is like the stealthy type.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying.
You ever
Yeah,
think of them as like ones who would employ like any kind of finesse or anything like that.
yeah, but I mean in Odyssey, I mean a Spartan. I mean what? Me personally, I mean seeing a Spartan. There was no hidden blade, but there was still like you're still doing assassinations and stuff.
I
I mean,
agree.
So,
Spartan.
as somebody who's never played Odyssey, my apologies, Austin.
There is
Oh,
no
my-
hidden
I
blade.
just- no. It's all good because I probably won't like. It's all good. You telling me there's no hidden blade in Odyssey?
No hidden blade.
no hidden blade.
That's crazy.
You have-
That's what I'm saying. It's not an
Yeah.
Assassin's Creed game.
Yeah,
Like,
you have a
Crazy.
spear and that's the weapon that you use as
One of the coldest things about Assassin's Creed Origin
Is-
is like
is the
literally the origin of like the hidden blade and the whole cutting of the finger and all that stuff. Like
See, I
learning the
didn't know that.
backstory, a lot of the traditions of it. Yeah,
See, I didn't know that. See, I like playing Origins and like noticing like, oh, they don't have the ring finger no more.
yeah,
Yeah, that threw me off. I was like, oh,
yeah. I knew that. Well, that's the first. That's in the first Assassin's Creed. I noticed that Altair
Yeah.
didn't have a ring finger because of the blade.
yeah. See,
Yep.
I didn't know that. So
Yeah.
maybe I just never paid attention enough to look, and it was just like, oh,
Yeah. I mean, they mentioned it in Assassin's Creed 2 or Brotherhood when
Yeah, they mentioned it in 2.
yeah, in 2, because that's when you get the dual hidden blade.
yeah.
It was like,
Oh,
oh wait, you ain't gotta cut off my finger for this one.
Yeah.
I mean, I was okay with one, but now you want me to get rid of two?
Yeah.
How loyal can I really be?
I want to say they
Cool.
did something with it on 3 also with Connor. Maybe I'm making
Maybe
that
that's
up.
what it was too. But I'm not too
Maybe
sure.
I might be making that up. I'm not sure. But yeah, I don't know. That's just all I was thinking. Like, it just doesn't. Even with Origins, it still had kind of the same. I mean, it had the feel still. But when I was playing Odyssey, and it's a good game, it's just not.
Right.
Maybe
It's
if I
not
was
accurate.
playing it, and it was called like something else. So it'd be like, oh, okay, this is cool. But since I'm playing an Assassin's Creed game, it's like, nah, I'll pass
Yeah,
on that.
I hadn't played the last one I played. I think was Black Flag. I've been away from the series for a long time.
Yeah.
Well, you didn't
Black
miss much
Flag.
after Black Flag, though. So I think that's when Unity came out, and that was
Right, because that's what it was. Unity came out and it was awful, and
yeah.
that's what everybody said. So I didn't even touch it.
Hmm.
And after that, I heard Syndicate was okay, but by that time, I don't know. I'd been away too long that I just didn't go back.
Yeah.
Syndicate was more of a reskin kind of
Yeah.
of what Brotherhood I think it was. It was more. It just
Syndicate
felt
was
more
dope.
like a DLC, but it was still it was still
was
cool.
dope.
It just didn't feel like a brand new game,
Mhm.
Right. Yeah, man, Black Flag was awesome.
They had cool weapons in that game.
Black Flag was my favorite.
Yeah,
I missed the most. I missed the double hidden blades.
Yeah.
Like, that was actually dope.
And that's what I'm saying. There is none of that in the new games, like walking into a crowd,
That's so wild. That's
killing
so
somebody.
Whoa.
It's none of that.
You
So
walk
it's like,
doing the poison stab in the
Yeah.
crowd. That used to be.
it's
Man.
like, why do you still call it Assassin's Creed? You're
Whoa.
like,
But you might want to withhold judgment of the new game until you actually see some gameplay.
well, yeah.
I would say
I was strictly talking about Odyssey, but
I'm just
you know.
saying it's weird to me that like they haven't explored feudal Japan yet.
I
Yeah,
was
like,
just
I
about to
think-
say that.
I was getting ready to say that. Like,
Like,
That might be next. Because
Yeah.
maybe because that's like one of the most obvious choices. Because you
Right.
already know what you gonna be. Like, like you already know you gonna be pretty much a shinobi, and like you gonna be one with a hidden blade on your wrist. Like,
but that'd be cool though.
but it is gonna be dope.
yeah,
yeah.
that'd be cool.
but that would
Like
make
Assassin's
more
Creed
sense, though.
Oda or something like that.
That would make more sense. Like if you're like Assassin's Creed, like if they were going to bring the whole assassination, not even like if you're not going to be a samurai, you could be a ninja. That's more like I could get that. I could understand that.
That's too obvious, though.
But see, exactly,
Eh.
exactly. It's real obvious.
Yeah. All right. Well, yeah, I don't know. Like I said, the game looks dope. I really like the way it looks, and I like that he had a dang hidden blade. They made that a focal point in the trailer,
right.
for good reason, But yeah, I'll wait to see. I think they're showing gameplay tomorrow.
Are they?
I think
There's something tomorrow. I think that might be part of it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a gameplay stream or something tomorrow. So moving on. The next thing is, I don't know how many of y'all are interested in Last of Us 2.
I think.
I haven't
Nah.
played PlayStation game in a minute, so
Ah, man, you
Yeah,
gotta play it.
like-
You should get like PlayStation Now or something, and then play
that
it somehow.
PlayStation Now. What I wanted to ask is Last of Us Is that the one with like it's an apocalypse and it's like zombies in there? Or am I thinking of something else?
No, yeah, that's it.
That's it.
Yeah.
See, I'm kind
Not,
of
I
done
mean,
with
if
the
you
whole.
want to call it zombie, it's just infected people, whatever.
It's
Right.
infected people. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
kind of done with the whole. Yeah, if they're not zombies, I'm gonna just call them zombies. I'm kind of done with that.
Uh, well, I guess this next topic is kind of okay.
Yeah.
Well, they released the new trailer for Last of Us 2 today, and I thought it was funny that everywhere all the Naughty Dog and Sony YouTube channels that posted it disabled all the comments on it, of course, because they don't want anybody spoiling the game in there because it got leaked. But yeah, I'm really hyped for it. Guess I'm in the minority, but.
Well,
I never
top
played the
3% is
first
hype
one,
for it
so-
too.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that was my
Like I
favorite.
said,
I think it was my favorite PS3 game if I'm remembering the first one. So
Yeah. See, I played it a little bit on the PS3. I want to wait and buy it on the PS4. I might as well get the remaster version since I hadn't beaten it. And my girl actually owned the game, and so we played a little. She showed me it, and
yeah,
yeah, I just never got around to playing it. So, like I said, I have seen the footage from Last of Us 2, and it looks fantastic. But also, I don't think I'm going to be an early adopter of the next gen system. So yeah.
no.
there's that too. Like, I don't know. I
Hey,
get a lot of,
what's the particular reason for that? I'm just curious.
I mean, really, no reason in particular. Oftentimes, usually, I find myself without the money.
Got you.
And so,
Yeah,
and then usually, like the first few months, they gotta work out kinks and stuff. There might be
Yeah.
actually the Xbox systems, the Xbox One and PS4, they were pretty solid.
Yeah.
Both of them, but the PS3 and Xbox 360 when they came out, it was like
Ooh,
issues
it
with them
was
when
it
they
was
first came out.
bad. Yeah.
And so I held off on the Xbox One and PS4, but there was no need to. Both of those shipped solid, so we'll see with the next gen. But also, like, there's just so many. Like, I was talking about this on my channel. I got so many games in my backlog. I've got probably about 250 games in my collection that I own. I've never played, and so I've been trying to catch up
Wow.
with all that. And so,
Man.
I
Got some work to do.
If I think
Yeah.
about it, I'm
Yeah,
probably
I
around
don't
in the
know.
same boat.
It happens, right? Like,
Yeah.
you see a game and you get it because, like, oh, this game will probably go up in price. I better buy it now, or I'm gonna regret it later.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I used to own Rule of Rose on the PS2 and
Oh,
traded
man.
it off like a dummy. And man, I wish I could get that game back. But
Yeah, cause that how much is that going for now?
a used copy, if you get it complete, probably going to be about $450 to $550. Yeah, 450 to $550. So yeah,
Man.
the most expensive game in the US set, if I'm remembering that correctly.
My goodness.
I remember seeing a copy of that at Micro Center years ago. That was around the time that it started climbing in price, and it was like $45 or something like that.
Yeah, I had seen it a few years ago here locally for 180, and I was like, "Dang, I wish I would have bought it then, though."
Yeah.
But I don't know. There'll be some way to emulate it in the future, I'm sure. So
Yeah.
until then, I'm gonna just hold off on that because I just can't justify paying that much for games.
Is there like
Yeah.
is there a PAL version maybe that's like cheaper or Japanese
Nope.
import?
Well, the Japanese, they are cheaper, but the Japanese version is like 200 now, 250, something like that. So.
Yeah. Curious.
And the game is pretty dialogue heavy, so it'd be kind of hard to play in
Yeah.
Japanese. The PAL version goes for pretty much just as much as the US version.
Yeah.
Because it's in English, because that's what everybody bought when the US version disappeared.
It was sold
Everybody
out,
went and
yeah.
grabbed the PAL ones because it was still in English. And honestly, the game is not that great. It's really not. Like, the combat in it is kind of trash, for real. It's a survival horror game. The graphics on it are fantastic, though. One of the best looking games on the PS2. And the storyline, it takes place in this, like, girls' orphanage in, like, the 1930s. It's really dark. It's really dark. There's some things, sexual assaults and things like that. And, of course, all these girls are underage. So that was part of the reason why it's so rare, because it got a limited release out here because people wasn't trying to mess with it. So
Yeah.
Atlas like a small print run here, and that was it.
Yeah, and Atlas already does small prints
Already,
anyway,
yeah.
so
Anytime I see an Atlas game, I bought a couple Atlas games the other day, and they were like super cheap, and I just bought them just because they were Atlas games, like because I
yeah.
know like eventually they will go up in
Yeah,
price because all
they
Atlas games
always
do.
they will skyrocket.
Atlas, Treasure, like any of those type of developers, I see them like I cop them
Yeah.
just because.
No, what was the question I was about to ask? Oh, I was curious. Luke, you still there? You good?
I just realized he's.
He may have just stepped away. But I was curious, what was the most that you guys have paid for a video game? For a game, not a console, just a game.
Most I paid was $84.
84.
$84.
I think mine was about the same. Probably like 85 to $100. Do you know what game that was for?
Yeah, it was Ni no Kuni, and it was the collector's edition, and I ended up selling it. But yeah, that collector's edition now is like $350. So I came up on that one because I ended up selling it for like $200 like a year ago.
Yeah, I think when Super Mario RPG for the SNES used to cost a lot. The prices come down a lot. I think I paid like $90 for it.
Gotcha.
Yeah. But that price has come down a lot. My bad. I kept cutting you off, Austin.
No, I was. Is that just like special editions or like special edition games?
Just any game.
Yeah,
I was
mine
getting ready.
was a special edition.
I was getting ready to say because like I don't nah. Cause I like $60. That's probably, but
Oh, you know what? I take that back. I did spend. I got the Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. I got the Prestige
Oh, the
edition. When they
Prestige
first came
edition.
out.
That was
I dropped that
$250, right?
$100.
Or
Man.
150, one
Yeah,
or two.
yeah, I dropped that 150 on that. But that was one of the coolest special editions I had ever seen. Like you get the military grade night vision goggles, which I still got them. They're hanging up over there. But yeah, it's crazy. Like I had to have them for whatever reason. I don't know. Like
Yeah.
oh no,
I'm ready to get those Fallout 4
Pokemon.
special edition.
What was that game? Pokemon Gold.
Heart Gold.
Yeah, Heart Gold. I bought that. And I wanted it was Heart Gold because I found that at because Chris, you was with me when I did that.
Yeah, finished up.
Yeah, vintage stock. I'm trying to think. I think I paid maybe $50 for it.
Yeah. I think that was when them Pokemon games had climbed. Because it was at one point, Pokemon games had like doubled when Pokemon Go first came out.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and then I bought because Chris was there with me again. Had bought what was that game? That Zelda game, Ocarina of Time.
Ocarina of Time.
Yeah, Ocarina of Time. And it was the gold cartridge.
Yeah.
And I think I paid maybe like $50 or $60 for it. But I mean, it was. Yeah.
And that's actually a fairly good price for that.
Right.
So yeah.
Like I wish it still had the box, cause sheesh. But Now if you say like how many times you bought like a game, the same like shoot like bought Persona the first time for $60 and ended up buying Persona Royale, and that's basically just like they added some things to it, and then they fixed some of the things that people were kind of nagging about.
I haven't spent a lot of money on any games, just regular price collector's edition stuff like that for the most part.
Right.
But I did notice that the price of Panzer Dragoon Saga is like through the roof now. Right now.
Yeah.
So
Panzer Dragoon.
That is my pride and joy right there.
So yeah, he's gonna flex that. Go ahead and flex that.
I gotta flex that. That's $900.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I was like, hey, yeah, I 1,000 now. Yeah, that's what's up.
Yeah.
And I really need to pull it out and play it again, but I'm afraid to.
Yeah, I hate myself for not being an adopter of the Saturn. Like I was hardcore PlayStation though, And even afterwards, when I got older and could buy a Saturn and go back, I still didn't. Because there was a one time like Saturn games, like right around the turn of the century, like Saturn stuff was super cheap.
Mm-hmm.
Super cheap. I remember seeing them in like Toys R Us and Best Buy and stuff for like, I don't know, like $29.99 or something for the console. And
Yeah,
then
same thing with the Dreamcast.
so cheap.
Yeah.
Yeah, same thing with the Dreamcast. And I was such a hater of the Dreamcast.
Oh, the Dreamcast was awesome.
Yeah, Dreamcast has
Yeah,
a lot
I know
of good
that
titles
now,
on it.
and I'm kicking myself because now most of the games are super expensive.
Yep.
I think I picked my Saturn up from Blockbuster used for $19 with one of the hard cases that they rented them in.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, I think you got that in you got a Virtual Boy from Blockbuster too.
Yeah, I got a Virtual Boy for like probably $20 as well.
Virtual Boy, you really want to damage your dang vision. Go ahead and buy that.
It was kind of cool, but yeah, you could not play it for longer than a few minutes at a time.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Jeez.
Yeah, it's just
Oh, yeah,
bright.
it would
It's
give-
bright
it would give you a
red and
headache.
black. Yeah, it's just.
Yeah.
It's.
I always wanted to play the Virtual Boy. Never got a chance to. Remember a kid on the bus had one when I was growing up, and he was just being like an a-hole. I was like, oh, can I see? Nope.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely special. I mean, it's cool to mess around with for like 5 minutes or something. And actually, a really good Wario game is stuck on it, but
Yeah.
it's like.
Yeah, I heard Wario Land on it was the must-have.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
I've got that.
Yeah. So.
Oh,
Luke,
okay, we're charged.
Yo.
any expensive game purchases for you?
Man, what's the most expensive game I've ever bought? I mean, I want to say there's one game I'm thinking of. I can't even. It's not even right there right now.
I almost bought
dog.
Budokai Tenkaichi 3, which that is up there in price. I think it's like 75 right now or
It's sitting
something.
around 70 or so.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's a good one. Something that vintage stock. I thought.
Yeah,
Ah,
Vintage,
they
that
overcharged
Vintage
us,
stock,
though.
they'll hit you over the head, though.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, it's about one something there, but yeah, that would. I mean, I want to say I might have bought that game 10 years after it came out for like $40-$50. Maybe
Yeah,
it had to be more than that, but
Yeah, what did I pay for mine? I think
I mean, I bought it originally. I had it originally, played it, bought it, traded it in. I don't know how many times I done bought and traded that game in. That's probably my most traded game is Tenkaichi 3. But man, maybe NCAA 04 or not 04, excuse me.
14.
14.
14, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I paid $17.99 for my copy.
Yeah.
Man.
I don't know. I don't think no, Assassin's Creed 3 was the one. I bought the collector's edition
Oh,
of Assassin's
okay.
Creed 3.
Was that the one that had the hidden blade replica?
It came with something, man. It had I know it was the metal case, and then it came with something else. I can't remember. I remember that was probably the first time I had bought like a special edition game ever.
Yeah.
Was that one there? But other than that, no, I don't think I've made expensive game purchases yet. Other than no, Fallout 4. Fallout 4, definitely. I done dropped about 120 for that. That's probably my most expensive drop.
Pit Boy edition. I want
Yeah.
it so bad, and I've been looking for the Pit Boy to pop up. It pops up in my city every now and again.
Mm.
So, but for whatever reason, every time I see it, I'm always broke. The last time I saw it, it was like $80. He was wanting for it. And I'm like, I don't know about that. I might could have talked him down a little bit, but still, I'm being a cheapskate. I know. I wanted the Fallout 76 Special Edition.
Yeah.
And so I could get that helmet because it's a
Yeah.
wearable helmet with
Yeah.
a freaking light on the top. It's like I'm looking at my Master Chief helmet that I got because I did buy the special edition of Halo 3 too, and I bought it thinking that I could wear the helmet and found out I couldn't. I was so mad about that.
Yeah.
So mad about that.
Yeah, I got a Pip Boy, but it's not one of the ones that came in the special edition. It's in the little Fallout 76. There's like a pack that they released with the game, so I got that one. So I use it for cosplay every once in a while, but
right on.
Yeah. I thought Crazy Eyes could speak to this because I think I saw you put this in our chat earlier. Was that they're thinking about doing a Mass Effect trilogy remaster, or is that a rumor? Or
that it's popped up in a lot of different places that that's happening, and they're saying like March of next year it'll be released, with the caveat that not on the Switch, which I find hilarious.
EA does not like Nintendo, man.
I mean, not that I would play it on the Switch anyway.
Yeah.
But just the fact that they had to put that out there, I find that funny as hell.
Right, it's to throw some shade.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they don't. Yeah. They really do not like. Yeah, it's crazy.
But if and when that happens, I will definitely be replaying all 3 of those games again.
Yeah, that sucks because I am in the middle of playing Mass Effect 3 right now, replaying it. But yeah, I would just have to play them all again. I do it once a year anyway, so I would just have to do it.
Yeah, I would buy it. I never played Mass Effect 3. Never played it.
Oh,
For whatever reason, it was one of those games like I meant to get it. I love the series, love the first 2, and I was gonna get it, and then I just didn't. I don't know. There's a lot of games like that I feel like I should have played by now, and I just never messed with them. Like,
yeah, Mass Effect 3. If you can separate the ending from the rest of the game,
right? Mass Effect 3 is awesome.
Yeah,
I love it. But yeah, the ending definitely did alienate a lot of people.
Yeah,
it kind of deflated a lot. I mean, it didn't take anything away from. The journey was awesome. You got to the ending, and you're kind of like, okay, that's it.
Right.
Yeah, that's how I felt when I beat KOTOR 2. Huh.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what that reminds. It sounds like and I think I remember when Mass Effect 3 coming out. I think I remember hearing that they had to like rush the last few months of development, so they probably just
that's that EA effect, man. That EA effect.
Yeah, EA, they want it now, and you gotta do it.
Yep. That's how it is. Seems like ever since BioWare has been under EA, it has went to the shithole. Yeah. Anthem is the same way. Yeah.
And they are trying. Okay.
They're not trying. That game is dead.
Bro, they said that they've been talking about that for a while. I don't know when that's gonna happen.
BioWare says a lot of things, but yeah. Well, that brings us to video game 20 questions. I have 2 games because I wasn't, I don't really know your full gaming history, so I was trying to pick something that I figured everybody would know, but maybe I didn't. So I have 2 different options just in case you don't get one of them. So starting with the first one, y'all can begin when you want.
This game.
Who's gonna start?
Well, I'll start. Well, is this game cross-plat?
No.
Is it a current gen game?
No.
Okay.
And when you say this game cross-plat, when it was released, it was not cross-platform.
Okay.
Oh, but it's since gone cross.
But since then, it's come out on other platforms.
Okay, let's see.
Is it a shooter?
Shooter as in first person?
Yeah. Is it first person?
No.
Okay. Let's see.
For running down a genre. Well,
Man. So it's third person.
Let's see.
Is this pre-2010?
Yes.
Okay, so before 2010.
Is it post-2002?
No. That is 5 questions.
Okay, I'll ask one real quick. So, in cross-platform, did it come out for more than one home console? Eventually, when it
1 second. Let me make sure. No.
it didn't
No.
pre-2010, but it did come out on another platform, which means probably, fellas, probably Xbox and PC. That's what I'm thinking, maybe.
Let me clarify. So you're saying this game came out before 2002?
For
Yes.
2010.
Well,
No, it's before 2002 as
I
well.
always have a
yeah,
I
question.
asked if it
he
was
had asked the question.
post-02.
I just wanted to clarify.
Oh, okay. I thought he
Yeah.
said 10. Okay.
I did. I try to get the time frames. My bad. So this.
Okay.
So shoot. Dang. So it's an older game.
We're gonna need a genre.
Yeah.
Man,
Um.
I feel like I kind of know what it is though. Is it is Namco a developer?
Ooh.
No.
Okay.
So it's not a first-person shooter, so maybe a third-person shooter. Came out. Let's see.
Okay. You said it's not a first-person shooter.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like we don't know it's a third person shooter.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I thought we established it was a shooter.
No. I asked if it's a
Oh,
first
okay.
person shooter, but
Gotcha.
is I want to ask, is it an RPG? But I don't know. I don't want to see
Well,
it's an older game.
because if it's
Yeah,
so it's
I'm
pre
trying to think.
02, so it could be shoot PS1, PC.
No, that's a first-person shooter game.
Something that came out. Where's
It, no. It was said that it's cross platform.
not at the time, but afterwards it is.
Okay.
But it didn't. But the cross-platform, he said it didn't come out on any other. It only came out on one of the home consoles, though.
So
okay.
one home console and I'm guessing PC.
That's what I was figuring. That's what I was thinking. Xbox.
So then, yeah, same. But if it's pre 2002,
Yeah, so
But the
either
Xbox came out in
no two.
01.
Oh,
Yeah.
01. Okay.
Oh, did it come out in no one?
Yep.
Oh, so
In
two.
November.
I thought
Okay.
it was 02 as well.
Okay. Okay. So either PC or Xbox. I'm trying to think.
But there were some PlayStation and N64 games that got PC ports, like Daikatana on the 64, but that's the first person.
Daikatana. Man.
Daikatana.
Man.
Best game on the system.
Right.
But yeah, I was just thinking there's some of those earlier games and earlier PS2 games, like I know like a lot of the Quakes and Unreal Tournaments got PC ports too, but those again are all first person shooters.
Dang, man.
This is tricky.
Yeah, we really need a genre, so we're gonna have to start
Yeah.
asking some questions about what genre the game is in.
Okay.
Y'all are at 6 questions.
We're at
Is-
6.
We're 6 in. Okay.
Is it? Is it fantasy?
Say that again. I didn't hear you. What you say?
Is it fantasy?
Yes.
Mm.
Okay. So question. So like, with it being fantasy, like is like magic, like is magic involved and stuff, or is that will that imply as a question?
Hold on. No, it is not fantasy. Sorry.
Yeah, I was gonna. Yeah, because when I'm thinking fantasy, yeah, like you, I'm thinking like magic, like medieval setting, like.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not
Stuff like
fantasy.
that.
No.
It's not
Okay.
okay.
Not fantasy.
Not fantasy. Not a first-person shooter.
Cross-platform. Well, it started off.
On one thing, but then it went cross-platform, but it only got one home console port.
Mhm.
So, like I said, PC and something else. It's pre-02. Excuse me. So,
Mm.
Is it
okay, and
is it a sci-fi game?
Yes.
that's a good one. Ooh.
Okay, sci-fi
I've got an idea.
is I want to ask, what is Microsoft under? Like, is that like I know how they created games, but like, is it like a studio that like 360?
Yeah, Microsoft Studios.
Microsoft
Yeah,
Studios.
Microsoft
Microsoft
Studios.
Game Studios.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me.
Is-
I've got a question, and hopefully this doesn't waste one of our questions. Main character, Master Chief.
No.
Okay, so it's
Okay.
not Halo.
Okay, so
Nah, because Halo's a first-person shooter.
yeah,
Oh crap, that's right. Damn.
it's all good.
What?
That's
There
not.
was some other game. Dang it.
And I'm guessing it's probably a 6th generation game, but I don't want to ask that.
I don't know the generation
The
numbers
Xbox
anyway, so I wouldn't even be able to.
Well, pre-02, pre-02, the Xbox came out in '01, so there's few Xbox games that fit that criteria as being exclusive, but then also coming out for PC in the first year, that I can think of. That wasn't Halo, because Halo was one of the ones that got released for Windows later.
Well,
but-
then let's narrow it down. Then, whenever it did go to console, did it go to Xbox? Is it an Xbox game?
No. That's Tim.
Okay, so
So we can stop thinking.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's,
yeah, we can relax. That's actually really helpful.
Yeah, so it never did go to Xbox.
No.
No.
Okay,
But yeah,
my
I
bad.
know,
I had went
there's
over to
a lot of N64, some PS1 games. There might have been some Dreamcast games and PS2 games that made the jump to PC, but
You know what? I want to ask this, but I don't know how to.
I
No,
also
never
were
mind.
looking
No,
at handhelds,
no,
but
it's
I
a
can't think of any
first person.
handhelds that.
Man.
Are we including handhelds when we say home consoles?
I wouldn't. If you say home console, I'm not thinking handhelds. No.
Right. I'm not either. So it might be a I can't think of many handheld games that went to PC though. I can't think of any. So not pre-02 anyway.
So it's not.
Dang, man.
It's not fantasy.
Yeah, we got to figure out the console. It's not the Xbox.
Man.
Did we ever figure out the genre?
No.
No, we just
Other than
know
it's
that
not
it's
a
not
first-person
fantasy.
shooter.
Right.
It
We just
is
know
a
that it's not
sci-fi game.
fantasy.
Yeah, we
It
know
is
it's not fantasy.
sci-fi,
No, it's
but
not
it's not
first.
a.
It's sci-fi, not fantasy. Hmm. How about rating? Is it was it rated M?
No.
Mm.
Bro,
Oh,
that
that
question
eliminates
was
Duke Nukem.
Yeah, yeah.
That eliminates a
I
lot
was
of them,
trying to think
actually.
that too.
Doom and all
Yeah,
that.
no.
So,
Yeah, but Doom wasn't Doom first person. First person, because I was thinking
yeah.
that for a minute.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
so
was
was
thinking
Duke,
that for a minute.
So was Duke Nukem, actually.
So it's
Yeah.
well, there's
They're first? I thought they were third. I'm tripping.
yeah,
Nah,
well,
they were
there's a
first.
third person, A Time to Kill. Duke Nukem, A Time to Kill on the PlayStation is third person.
Yeah.
Oh, is it okay?
Yeah,
'Cause I was getting
I
ready.
think it was the only one.
I was getting ready to ask, is there metal music going on? Like,
Quick nugget, I actually enjoyed Duke Nukem Forever. But let me not get y'all off track.
Oh wow.
Oh yeah, I remember that was the video that brought me on your channel.
Yeah.
Your Xbox 360 Hidden Gems.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that was
I could not finish that game, but okay.
I'm there with you. I couldn't do it either.
I don't think I got started.
Or Doom. I couldn't do Doom. That metal music after a while started getting annoying.
Oh, you tripping.
The new
And
Doom
that-
is
and
too
it's just
demonic for
hard.
me. I
And
don't know.
this is coming from
I
somebody
did like
who likes
Doom
listening
2016.
to rock.
But let me
I
not
don't
mess
get
y'all
along
up. See, I didn't mean to
with
mess
that.
y'all up. I didn't mean
Yeah,
to.
see, we got
Man.
sidetracked. My bad. Yeah.
Shoot.
Sci-fi game.
So I think I have sci-fi, not a first-person shooter, pre-2002. What else did y'all get?
Not
and
a-
not
on
and not
Xbox.
Xbox. Yeah.
Dang, man.
That's crazy.
Is this game part of a larger like movie franchise?
Yes.
Okay.
Ooh, that's
A
a
larger movie franchise. Okay.
Yeah. See, I'm starting to think I have an idea, but sci-fi.
What's something off of there that you if you think like what's something on there that you like that's kind of that'll stand out that this could be that game. You hear what I'm
Who
saying?
you asking?
You, Luke.
What you mean?
Like what like on there like if you
You mean what's on your mind?
yeah, like what's on your mind? Like what like is there something in the movie that like say the game in the movie there's something might, pinpoint what that if that is the game? I don't know. It's kind of
Well, yeah, but I don't know if I should. Well, I guess Crazy Eyes asked a good one, so I'll ask this one. Are there stormtroopers involved?
Yeah.
Ah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I know what it is.
Then I think I have an idea then, because I
Alright,
just don't know
so-
the name of the game, but I have an idea what it is.
Okay, so it's not a first person shooter.
And
There's
it
stormtroopers. So the name of the game.
at the time it wasn't. It's pre-2002. At the time it wasn't. Then it went. I'm starting to think now when it did cross over. Okay, how many questions are we at?
13. You got 6 more left in a guess.
Okay.
When it crossed over, did it go to PlayStation?
I
No.
guess we should ask if it started on PC.
Okay.
On a
All
home
right,
console?
I've got a question.
Okay.
Let's see if we can figure out which console this started on. Did it?
Man,
Right. Did it start on PC or did it start on home?
Oh!
Did it start on a Nintendo console?
Yes.
oh okay.
Rogue Squadron.
What are you guessing that?
Yeah, I'm guessing that.
Yeah, that's it.
That's a good one.
I was
That was a
actually
good
going to
one.
mention that earlier because when you were talking about Star Wars games, nobody brought those games up, and those games are
Yep.
awesome.
Yeah,
Damn,
That
Rogue
was very
Squadron. Rogue
clever.
Squadron was good.
Yeah.
yeah, those are some of my favorite ones.
That's the
Because
yeah,
I
that's
was
the
gonna, I
original
was
Star
actually
Wars
gonna
to me.
talk about them. Cause I think somebody mentioned it in passing, but I didn't want to talk about it too much, cause then it probably would have made it way too easy.
Right.
But
I'm not gonna lie. Like when you said like Storm, like we found out it was a Star Wars game. I was like, man. I wonder if this is like one of those was it Jedi Academy?
I was
Yeah,
thinking it was that.
I think those
I
came out
thought it
after
was,
2002 though.
But I was
Yeah.
gonna go with the episode 1 Pod Racer. Because I was thinking it was on an N64, because I know a lot. The N64 got a lot of PC ports
Yeah, yep.
more than the PlayStation and Saturn did. So when you said pre-02, I'm like, I'm
Yeah.
probably
Yeah.
that.
Rogue
Yeah,
Squadron
it's-
came out and it came with the
I
expansion
forgot
pack.
about Rogue Squadron. Yeah, it was
Yep.
the one
Oh,
of
man.
the expansion pack. Yeah, but I was thinking episode 1 Pod Racer.
Yeah, that was like the 4K of today when it came out.
Yeah, boy, that expansion pack.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
because Donkey Kong 64 required it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I remember me and Pops going to he took me to Best Buy to get Donkey Kong 64, but we didn't get the expansion pack.
Yeah,
we was at home for like an hour trying to get it to work.
yeah.
I know y'all were pissed.
Bro, my Pops was like, "You need what?"
And I don't think they're cheap either.
Nah,
Yeah.
at the time they wasn't.
I think that game with the expansion pack was $80.
It took a couple weeks before I got that expansion pack. I remember that Donkey Kong was sitting there for a minute before I could play it.
Yeah.
It's kind of it's not the same thing, but what was that Pokemon game that was on Nintendo? It was the one where you could
Stadium.
talk to Pikachu. You talk to
Oh.
Pikachu.
Oh, hey, you Pikachu.
Yeah,
Oh,
hey, you
gosh.
Pikachu. Hey, we did not. A kid didn't know any better, but thought it was the greatest thing ever. Did not understand that you needed the little microphone to go with
That
it.
game was
And
awful.
it was. It got boring after like. Not
It
even an hour.
didn't even really work. It's like,
Yeah, it really didn't.
Mhm.
But we basically had that same issue. It's like you need what with this?
yeah.
It was crazy. I remember hearing a story about that when they were calibrating that game. Of course, they had just like a bunch of adults like speak to it and stuff, but it wasn't like calibrated for like young children with
Yeah.
like grammatical issues, like who are the ones actually playing the game. So
Yeah, that makes sense. And then I did have another one, a real quick one, if y'all wanted to do it, if we have time. So I think this one should be easier. I didn't think y'all were gonna get the Rogue Squadron, actually, to be honest, because that one, unless you've played it, it's a little bit of an obscure one. But yeah, I can start whenever.
okay,
Probably should just start the same way.
Is it what? Are we going to try to find the genre first, or
is it a console exclusive or is it a multi-platform game?
Console exclusive.
Console
Okay.
exclusive. Current gen or
At the time of release. Console exclusive.
Okay, console exclusive at the time of release.
there, so timed exclusive. Are we talking current gen or are we talking previous gens? Current gen or previous?
you got that? That's two questions.
Well, all right, is it a current gen game? Because that'll answer. the question.
Yeah. No, it's not.
Okay. So it's not current gen, so that means it's an older game.
Okay. So it started off exclusive, went multi-platform, and let's see. Let's try to figure out genre now.
Is it an RPG?
No.
No.
Okay, not an RPG.
Hold on. Question for the group.
Okay.
Does JRPG include? Is that within RPG?
I count that
Yeah.
as all the
Yeah.
same.
Yeah.
Okay.
And also, I blanket action RPGs under that too. So, like, I consider like Skyrim and like The Witcher 3 to be RPGs too.
Yeah.
Are they not? Yeah.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
thought.
Like
Yeah.
a
Because a
west.
lot of
It's
people when
a
they say
Western
RPG, they mean
RPG.
like turn-based. Yeah, they mean like turn-based RPGs. Like,
Yeah.
Well, we kind of got. I mean, aren't we kind of like back in it like back then, yeah, but now I mean RPGs have gotten
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
you
They're
know
Most of
considered.
them
They're
are
the
considered.
turn.
They're considered Western RPGs.
Okay. Okay, so it's not an RPG and it's an older game.
Yeah, multiple consoles.
Um,
3 questions.
Let's see.
is
So yeah, I got that. It's not an RPG.
Yeah.
Console exclusive at the time of release, and don't remember what the other one. It's not current gen.
not current gen.
Not current gen.
Is what asking before 2010 is that like would that
No,
count?
don't do 2000. I would go 2004,
2004.
2005.
Is it like around? Is it like around that time, like 2004?
Did it come out before?
Oh, okay. Did it? Yeah. What? Did it come out before 2004?
Yes.
It did. Okay.
Okay.
And we've established that it started out as a console exclusive, pre 2004, which would put it on like the Xbox.
Yeah, it could have been any 6th-gen game or any 6th-gen or before.
So if you ask any other genre questions except for RPG,
That's it.
just
Yeah,
RPG.
we can start narrowing it down.
Is it a shooter? First person shooter?
Yes.
It is. Okay.
Okay. It's Dai Katana. No, I'm just playing. Dang, it is a first-person shooter. So all the ones we dismissed last round, it could be any of those now.
Yeah, it could. I would like to narrow it even more down, but that could be anything. Like trying to the developer.
You want to take a guess on the developer?
I mean, we talking about what before 2004. So
Mm-hmm. It started out.
Yeah, I'm not gonna take a crack at that. Oh well. No.
Now, we asked last time if there was a sci-fi theme. I kind of want to ask if this game. What do you think, group? Like, should we ask if it has like a maybe a World War II theme? Because I have some thoughts.
Yeah, we can do
Because I
that.
know
Yeah,
World
we
War
can do
II
that, yeah.
shooters were very popular at the time. So, does it have a World War II theme?
No.
Okay,
No World War
awesome.
II thing.
Probably developers in 2004
Ooh. You know, we could probably narrow down the console because it really shouldn't. If it started out as a console exclusive, we're talking how many consoles at that point?
Right. Yeah. I mean,
Right.
that's PS2, Xbox, GameCube. But again, first-person shooters. There's not a lot of first-person shooters on the GameCube
yeah.
that started out exclusive. So I would almost rule that out completely. I can't think of one exclusive GameCube first-person shooter. I
Right.
think a bunch on the PlayStation 2, including the Medal of Honor games and the Call of Duty games, which is what I was thinking about.
But yeah, no, but those would be
They
World War
started out on
II.
PS2 and
Yeah.
then moved to Xbox and GameCube, but the PlayStation 2 version of those came out first.
I'm thinking more Xbox because Xbox had a lot of first person shooters.
I had a ton of them.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, had a ton of them. So is it okay to ask? Did it start off on Xbox?
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, you can ask that. I like that question.
Yeah.
no, it did not.
Wow.
Okay,
Oh,
I don't know this one then. I don't know too many. I don't know too many games on PS2 like my, my
uh,
at the time.
yeah.
At
Like I
the
said, he
time, my
ruled
mother
out the
didn't want me
World
to
War
play
II
games like
game,
that.
so I'm thinking first person shoot. Ooh, I'm thinking of one. Let's see. Because I'm pretty sure that came to PS2 before it came to the other ones. Let me see. Uh,
So it started off.
I want to ask, does this game have sequels or prequels? What do you think about that, group?
Did we establish that is it a sci-fi game or did we not?
I
We
don't think
did.
we. I don't
It's a
think we asked.
shooter. It's not a World War II themed shooter. It's a first person shooter, though. So we can ask the sci-fi question. I wasn't going to since
Well, yeah,
it didn't come
I'm
out
not
on
sure I want to.
Xbox.
I couldn't remember if we had already asked that question or not.
Yeah.
Um,
Because there wasn't too many sci-fi shooters on the PS2, and let's see, I think they were simultaneous releases. I'm thinking like Project Snowblind, and I
I
don't know,
want
there
to ask
wasn't a lot
like
of
the time frame of the game. Like, was it set in like present time, or was it set in like the future?
that would also like help me answer my question too. So I was thinking,
So
'cause
which one?
I have a game in mind.
So which one set in present time or in the future?
The see, well, either
Well,
the,
I
see,
guess I guess if I say it,
the franchise I'm thinking about could be either or. So
if I say future, if I say if it's futuristic, then it'll be known that it's at the time it's present. When
or close to it, yeah.
Yeah, close to it because it can't. Well, yeah,
Because we've all.
because it can't the game can't be based nowhere like past World War II or even like
right.
around that. So is the game like the time frame? Is it in the future?
Yes,
It is. Okay.
that's 8 questions.
Okay.
Man, if we had some help from Lukey Dookie, kind of big brain in this right now. My head hurts.
Excuse me.
Um.
All right, so we've established that it's not a.
Not an RPG.
Well, it's not an
Yeah, it's a
Xbox
first
game.
person shooter.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it didn't come out on Xbox.
Um,
Oh crap! Yeah, it can't be the game I'm thinking if it didn't come out. Wait, did we establish that it never came out on Xbox, or did it come out somewhere? It came out somewhere first, right? That's what we established that it wasn't. It didn't start on the Xbox.
No, you asked if it came out on Xbox. I said no.
And
okay, so it didn't come out on Xbox.
Come on.
Okay. That's interesting.
so yeah, but it can't be the game I was thinking because it did get an Xbox port.
Yeah, I was thinking of one too, and yeah, that was on Xbox as well. So
Shucks.
okay, this is tough.
Right.
Is a first person shooter. takes place in current or future times. Now, I mean, keeping with this N64 theme, there are two first-person shooters on the N64 that I can think of. I can't remember if they ever came out on PC, but both of those fit the bill of it being first-person shooters before 2002. Didn't come out on the Xbox. And did we establish sci-fi theme or no? This round, I can't remember.
We just established that it's futuristic, so I would guess sci-fi.
So you could imply that, like, yeah. I'm thinking of one in particular on the N64. Of course, there was two that could fit that bill. So it could be those.
And how many questions are we on right now?
You're only on 8.
Oh, then we can run through a couple of questions on particular consoles because we've already gotten.
Yeah, we can do that and just try to eliminate some. So I'll start. Did it come out on the N64?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, I know the game. I think I know the game.
Yeah. Do you want to guess?
Hold on, hold on. If we guess it,
if you guess it wrong, you lose.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
yeah. I don't want to guess it yet.
Okay,
Yeah,
well,
so
then you can using your game, you can ask some questions that'll narrow it down to the
Right,
game
right,
that you're
right, right.
thinking.
Okay, I want to ask: was this game based on a movie?
No.
Okay, man, I really think I know. What was that? That's 11 questions.
That is 10.
That's
10. Okay, I want to ask one more. Does this game star a female protagonist?
Yes.
I'm guessing Perfect Dark.
Yeah.
Yep. Released in 2000 on the N64, later ported to 360, and it came out on the Xbox One. Perfect Dark.
Yeah.
Yep. Actually, once we got N64, then
That
we
was
should have been
it.
able to.
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there wasn't many shooters other than the 64.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I like that game a lot. That was another game, another really good couch multiplayer game.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, sucks that Luke wasn't there for that, but that's okay.
Also, man, you got to do that video, like some of your favorite couch co-op games.
That is a very good video topic, actually.
We can talk about Splitters, Future
That's
Perfect.
what I was thinking it was
Yeah.
earlier. I was thinking
I was too.
earlier. I was like, nah, that came out on the Xbox, though, so it can't be that.
And Slump knows we played the hell out of Splitters.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that game, Future Perfect, was the one that we played a lot.
Who always
See,
played
that's
as
the
the
one I never
monkey?
got to play. I want
I think it
that.
was Devin.
I want that and
Top 3.
Yeah, he's always that damn monkey.
yeah,
It's
I'm
basically
looking for that
like
game
using
and
Oddjob.
Second Sight. Did you guys ever play Second Sight?
I
It's
don't know
made
what
by
that
the
is.
same crew that. Yeah, you should look it up. It was made by Free Radical too.
Oh, okay.
And it plays just like the Time Splitters games. Like, yeah, it's fantastic. Except it's like, I don't know if you guys ever played PsyOps, the Mindgate Conspiracy that came out on the PS2 and original Xbox. But it's like that game mixed with Time Splitters. But basically, it's first-person shooter, but you get like weapons like telekinesis and pyrokinesis and stuff like that.
What's the name of the game?
Second Sight is the name of the game.
Second Sight. That sounds so familiar.
Yeah, like I said, look it up. Once you see it, you'll probably know what I'm talking about. It came out in like 05 on the Xbox. It's expensive now because that was their last game, Free Radical's last game before they shut down. But yeah, like aesthetically, it looks just like the Time Splitters games. But you can do other stuff like you can possess enemies and you can pick enemies up and throw them and make them,
Right.
burst in the flames, electrocute them, stuff like that. So.
Was that like one of the I want to say I'm not gonna say one of the first, but they were trying to get into the whole telekinesis thing. I think something kind of started like either like a movie or something kind of started that off with the whole telekinesis. I could be wrong. I feel like I know this game because I tried to play it and I ended up not finishing it.
Yeah, like I said, because it came out around the same time as PSI Ops. I think it came out like a year after. So I think PSI Ops or Psy Ops was '04. But
Yeah.
yeah, there were some games in that. I know what you're talking about because there's some other games in that mix that kind of had that gameplay mechanic,
Yeah,
kind of that gimmick where you can like use your mind and stuff. Breakdown is another one on the Xbox, on the original Xbox, and that game is fantastic.
I think that might have been the game. I think that's the game I'm
It
thinking
might
about.
have
Is
been, it might be
Breakdown.
now you were talking about because Breakdown, yeah, and I showcased that a few weeks ago on the channel. I think it was on my Xbox Hidden Gems Part Two, but
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, that game is dope. But yeah, there were a lot of games that came out around that time period that had those same kind of things.
Okay. Well, yeah. Well, y'all got both games, and you got the last one pretty quick. The last one was in 11 questions, and Rogue Squadron was 15.
Nice.
So yeah, that was pretty good. We're approaching 2 hours, so I'm gonna go ahead and come to an end on this. Was there anything else that anybody wanted to add? Anything they want to plug, maybe?
Yeah, do you guys do
It's really
you
tight
two?
on me.
Anybody else like on the platform?
Not yet.
Need to be, need to, may as well.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun, man. It's like I said, I thought it was a bunch of haters on here, and there are, but there's so much more cool people. I've met a lot of cool people on this
Yeah.
platform. So
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Yeah, it can be pretty rough, but you know, but yeah,
oh, you speaking from experience there.
yeah, man. Especially if you're live streaming and people.
Oh man, have you had some trolls? Man,
Yeah,
I
I've had some
haven't
stream
had any yet.
snipers. I've had people come in. When in game came out, somebody came in my chat and spoiled in game. It is yeah,
Oh man,
but game's a game. Whatever, it is what it
yeah.
is.
Oh yeah.
I need to live stream more because I'm trying to get some trolls in my. I was watching a buddy stream and the troll came in there was I told the troll I'm like, look man, subscribe to my channel while you at it. I'm gonna stream tomorrow. Like, come get in my stream. Like, I need that
Yeah.
watch time. So I'm trying to blow up.
Hey, yeah, man.
Need
That's
that
what it's
watch
all.
time.
That's what it's all about. YouTube is all about watch
Look
time
man, you
now.
can call me the N word. Just come subscribe.
So
I don't know about that, buddy.
yeah, but all
No,
right.
but yeah, it's crazy. Like, I don't know. Some people just have nothing else to do with their free time. I guess I don't know. I don't
Yeah.
understand people like that.
Yeah. There goes Fluke at the end. We're wrapping it up.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But the second game was Perfect Dark, though. That's what.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, because you weren't there, so we just want to tell you, So,
Yeah, I understand it. This podcast went pretty long. This is a 2-hour podcast, so I'm gonna try to. Maybe I'll make the agenda a little shorter. Or, I don't know. I'll have to do something to keep it a
Man,
little shorter.
it's my fault. Man, if you mention Star Wars, like I literally can talk about that
Yeah.
all day.
Yeah.
I need to do more Star Wars content on my channel.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But all right, I appreciate everybody that tuned in. I appreciate all y'all for being a part of this. It's pretty cool to sit here and just talk about video games.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So if you like this podcast, if you like video games, anime, comics, anything, pop culture, don't forget to subscribe. Go ahead and go check out Lightsaber Samurai on YouTube also. He does a lot of real dope retro video game stuff and some, current gen stuff. And yeah, hit that thumbs up and I'm going to catch you guys later.
All right.
Peace.